Hello everyone, I'm here today with a new video, and this one is a flip through. This is part 2 of my trip to Chicago in July. So I had done the first part here, which is all of this, and now we're picking up here. This was actually kind of halfway through our main day. I came in on a Thursday night, stayed over, my friend came in Friday morning. We spent all day together, and then we both left Saturday morning. So this is really, the main bulk of this album is just Friday, but this is the second half of Friday. So here we go. So here we were going from the Magnificent Mile area all the way out to Andersonville. We wanted to visit a store called Paper and Pencil. And I had never been to Andersonville before, ever. Kind of heard of it in passing, but didn't really know exactly where it was or what they had out there. So it was the first visit for both of us. And so I just wanted to show our train line here. We needed to take the red line all the way out there and then walk quite a bit. It was a little bit further from the station when we got out than we anticipated, but it was a beautiful day and the area is so lovely. The houses are so pretty and well kept. It's a great neighborhood. So if you've never been out there, I highly suggest it. So here we are. This was our train station where we got off the train. So you can see it says Berwyn. Hopefully, you know what? Let me do this. There you go. Berwyn. So if you're interested in going out there, kind of from the River North area, that's how to do it. Take the red line. And again, this was a new area, so we were just taking our time, wandering, being leisurely. And this was part of what we saw at the station, which was kind of fun. It reminds me a little bit of New York, how they do their subway tile. Not all the L entrances in Chicago have this. Some of them are very, very plain. Some just say like the street crossing that you're using, but some are beautiful like this. So you kind of never know what you're going to get. And that was a new one for me. And so here we are kind of just making our way through Andersonville. And I just talked a little bit about it on the card here that we were making our way to the store. That was our main objective, but just walking leisurely and perusing the neighborhood and seeing what they have to offer, that was definitely part of it. And we weren't in a rush. We didn't have anywhere to be at that moment, so it was fun to just take our time. And look at this beautiful house. It reminded me a little bit of Lincoln Park here, but it's more of a house neighborhood than Lincoln Park. Lincoln Park, I see still like lots of townhomes, condos where they have like 3 floors, and it used to be a 1-family house, but now it's 3, like that kind of thing. I definitely saw more like single family houses in Andersonville. And so here we are, we finally made it to the shop, and it's much smaller than I thought. When I saw it on Instagram, I follow them, it looked bigger to me, and I think it's just because they stuff so much product in there. Wow. I mean, that's one thing to keep in mind is the aisles are very narrow, and if you get more than a handful of people in there, it will be very crowded. But you can see, look how cute it is, even from the outside. So I wanted to showcase that. And then I bought some stickers when I was there, and they're Chicago themed. And some of them had these little pens, like a fountain tip pen there and everything. And I thought, well, that's perfect because it was a paper and pen store. So why not? This was part of the packaging. And so I decided, okay, now that I've gotten all my purchases home, what can I do with this? So it was much bigger. I cut it down so that it would fit in here. So I think it's actually more like 4x9. There is a little leeway with this album. So it's a little bit taller than the average page, as you can see. It sticks out a little bit, but that's okay. And then on the back, I added a 4x6 photo, and I just adorned it with stuff that I had on my Chicago sticker sheet, which is this one. The other one I was talking about was a much smaller one that I specifically bought at Paper and Pencil. This one I had already, but I wanted to use up some more things on it, so I did that. So you can see like the city grid pennant thing is from there. These were from there. And then I just did a little stamping. And then this is more of the interior of the store. I mean, look at that. If you are a stationary, scrapbooky person, you would love this place. So here's the pen bar. It's literally just a long counter. You walk up, you belly up to the bar, people. And you can test out any pens they have there to see, do you like it? Do you not like it? It's awesome. So I spent quite a bit of time there, and I did bring some pens home. And then I used this card because I wanted to really add in some color. Lots of different colors happening here. And then this sticker was also one that I picked up in the store. How appropriate. And it looks like it's from the same company as the smaller sticker sheet I bought. that those little pens came on, it looks similar to this vibe. So I think maybe it's the same company. This was the only other embellishment I added because everything here was so busy. It really didn't need anything other than that. When we were done in the store, we had barely eaten all day. We had coffee, but we'd barely eaten. And so we're like, you know what? Now we need something. So we decided to just like go on the main drag there and just like see what we see. And we happened to find this cafe. It's called Kopi. And we thought, all right, we'll sit in there. It's got a fun vibe. Looks cool. It ended up being a great stop. The staff was super friendly. So if you're in that area and you want to try something, this is a great pit stop. So here I have just a flip up, and it shows we had their hummus and crudité platter. And we actually ended up asking for a few more veggies because we finished what we had and wanted just a little bit more since we didn't know exactly when we were going to end up eating dinner. And they were lovely. They accommodated us and added that to our bill, and it worked out just fine. And so I just talked about that spot there. And then luckily they had this, the cafe's kind of in the front, excuse me, the front 3/4. The back quarter is like a gift shop area. They have souvenirs, other things for sale, by local people, I think. So cool stuff in there. And then here, I wanted to use this card forever. I had this from an old Cocoa Daisy kit, July Stories Documented, and I didn't have anywhere to use it. I don't do a lot of travel in the summer, actually. Usually it's more in the other seasons. But I happen to have this one, and so I thought, perfect, I can use it on the back of this postcard. When we were done there, like I said, we just wanted to explore the area, the neighborhood, see what they had. They had a bunch of little stores in a row, and this was one of them. It was just called Enjoy. And we could only see the window, which you'll see in a second. And we're like, well, that looks cool, so let's go in there and just see what they have, not really knowing. We would have been fine had we just walked in and been like, you know what? There's nothing in here we want, and walked back out. But it was super cool inside. This was the window. So very bright. We like the flags here, felt very welcoming. So we're like, all right, we're going to go in there. And they had these awesome coasters. I did end up buying one. And then I bought one of this type. And then I also bought a more regular coaster that has a city map from Andersonville. So you can kind of pick out the streets. And I loved it because I'm like, you know what? Then it shows me I was right there. I remember those streets and those intersections. So that was fun. And I just talked a little bit about that on the card. And this one I chose because it specifically had best souvenirs as an option. So I have that here. I will say this was a great place, but then across the street, I think it was the next block down and across the street, there was a store called Transit Tees. We actually bought a lot of stuff in there, and none of them were tees. We bought a bunch of stickers and postcards and other stuff, but it was a great place where if you're out exploring and you're a scrapper and you want some memorabilia, that is a great place to go. After that, we also found a bookstore, and this particular bookstore caters to feminist fiction, like women writers, women's issues, and LGBTQ, I believe, and kids. They had a big kids section in there that was really cool. So I wanted to make sure that I got that in here. As you can tell, it's kind of hard to read on here, but the bookstore is actually called Women and Children First. So it makes sense. And I loved that they had this rainbow here, and I actually had a rainbow card. All I had to do with that was just stamp this. I just picked one of the book stamp sets I have, stamped it on there, and called it good. When we were done out there, we decided to come back in and go to the Harry Potter store. We had passed it earlier in the day. The line was out the door. It only opened in, I think it was the end of April, so it hadn't been open that long at that point, and there was a huge line. So we're like, you know what? Maybe it's because all the tourists are out and whatever, during the day. We'll come back in the evening and just see if it's any better. That was a very good decision because there was no line when we went was it late afternoon? No, it was evening. I think it was past 5 by the time we got out of there, took the train. It's kind of a long train ride. So took the train all the way back. I think it was past 5. So no line to get in. And we did not intend to buy anything. We are trying to give JKR as little money as possible. But we just wanted to see kind of how it compared to the one in New York, because I've been into that one several times. I will say, if you've never been to this one, it's a much different experience. It's quite small. It has a small footprint compared to the one in New York. So for instance, this one is all one level. whereas the one in New York has 2 levels. The whole downstairs area is so cool. Here you don't have that. And you definitely feel it. It felt very cramped to me after having been in the other one. When you get a lot of people in there, it's like the pencil store, kind of like you feel it. You notice, oh, I'm rubbing shoulders with people. That's how many people are in here, and that's how tight it is. So kind of just be warned, if you haven't been there, that expect that it will be crowded and that you'll have people kind of in your personal space when you're in the store. But here I just wanted to document all the different things they had. It's very similar in a lot of ways to the one in New York. I saw a lot of similar decorations, and like the wand area is very similar. So I didn't have to do a ton of things with that. And that's why a lot of these layouts ended up being done in Canva, because I didn't need, 7 layouts with pocketed page protectors to do it just would have taken forever. So look how many photos I fit in here and on a lot of these other ones. And then all I had to do here was I added the frog sticker, because I have multiple sheets of Harry Potter stickers. And then I have a bunch of wood veneers left that I ordered like 5 years ago or something. Slowly trying to use them. I don't have much occasion to anymore. So, but trying to make it work. And then over here, again, 2 more collages to keep it simple. I used Canva to just drop templates in and then arrange my photos. But here again, all I did was add stickers because there was a lot happening. I was wearing pink. There was a lot of pink in the background, so I just made it match. And then over here, more color even happening. And I just needed to fill one space. So I used this book sticker. I actually cut off the bottom. It would have been too big otherwise. And I just put on the other little embellishments to help kind of bring that out. And yet another collage. And this one was a little tricky. I had left a big space in the middle thinking like, oh, I'll build something, I'll decorate it. And then when I got to it, I'm like, oh, that's kind of a large space, bigger than I anticipated or that I remembered. But I had this big sticker on one of the sheets, so it really helped to take up that space. So that was nice. And then here I thought, well, what's long and narrow that I could use to fill part of that? And the potion bottles were perfect. So it worked out well. And then I just had border stickers here. These were all from the same set of stickers, which was super helpful. And then here's the last layout from the store. This one is a real page protector with pockets, but only because I needed it for the other side. So this one was very simple. They just had a poster here framed that you could get this was pretty much the only thing that was specific to Chicago. Whereas in New York, they have a lot of merch that says New York for their memorabilia and their clothing line, apparel, that stuff. Here they did not. That's one thing I noticed. So maybe that's changed by now because it's been a while since I've been there. But when I was there, this was kind of it that said Chicago. So I figured, well, I better showcase that if that's all they've got. And then I just did a generic Hogwarts card. After that, we were ready for dinner. We had done a lot of walking, and we did have that late lunch slash app at the cafe in Andersonville, but it was basically all veggies. It didn't hold us for a long time. So we were ready for dinner, and we were both craving Mexican. And believe it or not, where we were, it was hard to find a good Mexican place. This was the closest that we could walk to within about 6 blocks. And so we thought, you know what, that's just what we're going to do. And it was fine. Notice I gave it 3.5 stars. It could have been better, but it's all right. I definitely wouldn't give it a full rating because it's very Americanized Mexican. That's the best way I can put it. And both my friend and I are picky about Mexicans because we have lived in communities where we can get authentic Mexican food. This is fine for a tourist area. You know what? We ate it all. It was fine. But would I go back? Probably not. So but I wanted to showcase our meal. It was cute inside, the way it's decorated and everything. So it's called Su Casa. You can see my meal here. I had some enchiladas and I got to use my taco stickers finally. And then I grabbed a business card on the way out. And then again, I had a big space to fill. And this was the largest sticker on that sheet. So I thought, well, that's perfect because then I can kind of get that out of there, get it used on a layout, and I don't feel like I'm wasting those stickers. Well, we had a very leisurely dinner, and by the time we were done and coming out of there, it was pretty much dark already. So we knew, hey, the Buckingham Fountain is lit up let's go over there and see it. We'll catch the music show. We'll see the lights. It'll all be great. So it was best for us to take a bus from where we were that would drop us just within a few blocks of the fountain. So that's what we did. So you can kind of see this was the street scene when we came out. It was so pretty. I love seeing Chicago lit up at night. This was just a wood veneer. I've had a package of, it's just, I think it was maybe 50 pieces or something from a long time ago by Allie Edwards. And I've been trying to use those. I still have so many, but this was one of them. So yay, I finally got to use the bus. And then over here, this was the scene. We got dropped off and we had to cross the bridge here, and then the fountain's right on the other side. So we were able to see the skyline, which was so lovely in the evening. And you can see the mist there, which was kind of fun. We didn't plan on that. We just lucked out, right place at the right time. And then I did some sequins here, and I did it to match really what was on the other page more than this, but it did work for this as well. And you might notice there are music notes in there. And in my process video, I said, I'm going to go with that because I know that the fountain show is synced to music. So here's the next page where we got there. Well, we had missed the show. I forgot that it was only at the top of the hour. I thought it was every half hour. So we thought we were going to catch it at the next half hour mark. Nope. It was done for that hour. So sadly, we didn't get to hear the music, but we did get to see the lights change, which is the most fun anyway, just to see all the different color designs that they put in there. So we got this very beautiful, vibrant blue, and I chose to highlight that. We got some fuchsia, bright pink. We got kind of this reddish orange coral kind of color happening, and of course some gold in there. So since I already had all this, all I had to do here really was throw on some washi and a couple of puffy stickers, and that was it. And on the second to last page, I wanted to showcase a close-up of the fountain I did when it was purple. I love purple. So I wanted to do that. And originally when I found this, I thought, oh, I'm going to put that up top. I did not like the way that looked. When I did it, it somehow looked weird with this little spray of water. So I thought, nope, I'm going to leave the black sky for the night. And then I'll just do this in the reflection in the water. And I think that worked out well. And I love the pop of white. It really brings that out and you notice it right away. So super easy to put together though. Just a full 4x8 photo in that's it. And then over here, this is just to designate where this one stops. So this was my last one. This was the next morning, which was Saturday. And we both left on our respective trains. So we went to the train station together, said goodbye, and then I was off on my own. And this is a book I bought in the bookstore that I featured there. I actually read the entire thing on the way home. It was so good. I just blew right through it. And that was with taking some time to just enjoy looking out the window. So it was a perfect ride back. I really couldn't have asked for better. And the weather outside was beautiful, so I got great shots too. And I just love a good relaxing train ride. So there you have it. That is my July trip. The August trip will also be going in here. It's behind here. I'm not anywhere near ready with that one. I've put in the stuff. Some photos are in there. My memorabilia is in there. That's it. And I do want to say I will not be filming that one. That was a trip with my daughter. And so I'm not planning to do process videos of that. I may do a flip through when it's done. So maybe you'll get to see that. But otherwise, this album is done. And look at, even without August finish, like it's chunky. You can see there's way more in July. But it's a chunky one, that's for sure. Thanks for watching.